owners at this club at one time were negotiating a stadium site off Low Lane. Something went wrong. Could this site be considered again?
I don't think it's the problem that we've got with any site is who owns the land. The council have only said that they're going to give us an asset of 2 million, which they're going to give to Castleford, and if Featherstone get to a point where they can apply for Super League, then they would grant one of the teams the same offer. It's not a massive offer. We've got a private landowner who's offered to let us build on his land, and I think we should be grateful for that. We've got to work with him to try and enable that to happen. The land at Durker, as far as my knowledge knows, it is private land, and unless that person comes to the table and says we can use it,
are they here?
We can't do anything with it. But I can't imagine there's many people across the district like Colin Mackey who was offered 40 acres for a stadium. All right, be it that he's going to benefit from the enabling development. But I think at this stage it's another case. Let's look forward and see what we can do, and not worry about what other people have done in the past. It's a strapline we've carried through is that we need to stick together, and I think if we call on you and we think that we need some support for this to get an answer on the stadium before we get to April the 1st, then we will do. And if you turn up in numbers like this to everything we do, then to be fair, life's going to be pretty easy.
Cheers, James. Not sure who this is from actually. Is it possible we're hit with another tax bill for so-called player image rights? And when will the outcome of the HMRC court case against the RFL be known?
We can't get hit by any tax bills from anything that's happened in the past. And with the company being run correctly, which we will be doing, the tax bills will just get paid on time anyway. So the tax bills, unfortunately, we can't get away from them. They do happen, but there's no history bills that can bite us on the arse at all moving forward. So that's all. That's the reason it went through administration, was to clean all that up and get shut, to be told. But we'll be running the tax side of the business just as well as the other sides of the business that we do, and making sure that gets paid. So no, there should be no reason for us to ever get into that position again.
Okay, a couple here from Martin Crowther and Philip Hume, I think on very similar subjects. Not knowing what the club's finances are, but after what's happened, will the club look even deeper into up-and-coming local talent, which doesn't cost? And just to tag on something with Phillips, Castleford, Hull, Huddersfield and Bradford have all benefited from poaching our best juniors. Do we understand the importance of signing them?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious to everybody that that's the way forward. I think it's the way forward not only for Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, I think it's the way forward for the British game generally. I think there is, and this is with all respect to Glenn, I think there is an over-reliance on overseas players, and we have a duty to grow our own, and that's the only way that we'll increase, I feel, the standard of Super League, and by increasing the standard of Super League, it will hopefully increase the standard of the international team, which will allow us to attempt to beat the Aussies and give us a realistic chance of doing that. So what we need to do is invest in the best local talent and give them the best pathways to come through. One thing that I am proud of, and Jimmy will back us with this, is that we do give opportunities to young players, and that's something that I think we need to continue with, because if you give opportunities and you financially reward them, you'll attract the best ones, and that's what we're trying to do.
Okay, let's go through a couple from the same person. I think who else is part of the New Spirit consortium that's been cleared up. James, I think, why did Steve Parkin walk away from buying the club, and could there be a place on board for somebody like him?
Why did he walk away? The reality is there were 4 people in the process. I think it'd be right to thank them at this stage for showing an interest in the club that were going into administration. One of them was Andrew, who was the most enthusiastic and won the race. And I think that's part of the reason why Steve Parkin walked away. They had a conversation on the phone. There's more of an issue with what people's own objectives are, and possibly Steve's was to get a concrete answer on Super League. And unfortunately, the Rugby League can't do that under the current licence criteria, and a concrete answer on when the a date on deliverability on a stadium. At the moment, it's in an inquiry that we all know about. So I think those elements played a part in it, but I would also say the determination of the man on my left would have played a part in it as well.
Cheers, James. Could I please fix the speaker to my right hand side? It's squeaked for years. It's actually my left knee, is that? I'm afraid it's not the speaker. I think it's from Margaret. Which areas of the licence application do we fail on or are we weak on?
Anybody else want to answer that? It's pretty common knowledge. Stadium, we fail on. 12,000 capacity, 5,000 seats, all 12,000 under cover. If we go to Oakwell, we don't fail. Next one, historical viability of finance, we fail on. Going forward, we possibly don't fail on anything. We don't get 10,000 people in the stadium, which is what they've asked for. We've not got 4,000 season ticket holders, which is what's asked for. We have the potential to prove to people that we could possibly do it, because we've launched a membership, which means that you don't necessarily have to buy a full season ticket to be a member of this club. If you purchase a bronze, which is £10, then you get the ability to come to the games for £18. If you purchase a silver membership, you get the ability to come to the games for £10, £15 and £18, depending on the team we're playing. And if everybody who did pay on the day and couldn't, for work reasons or other family reasons, didn't think a season ticket was for them, purchased a membership, which meant that you get some benefits of discounts in the shop. We communicate with you and know who you are, know your email address, know your home address, know your phone number. Then it would help us a great deal in terms of being able to say, well, yeah, we might only have 2,000 season ticket holders, but actually we've got 8,000 members. There's more work going on into that for people who are not close to the club, in terms of people who can't travel to the ground every week. We're looking at sending sort of a far and wide type membership, which would be that we'd send them a DVD and a programme, but again, they would be a member of the club. So it's at a time like this when we've got to look at the criteria and find a way in which to help us all tick a box. Whether we think it's right or wrong that we have to tick a box is irrelevant. We've got to do it. But for me, the silver membership is probably the best product any rugby league or sporting club has offered. For a one-off payment of £30, whether you come to 3 games or 13 games, you've got value back. Because you could come to 3 of the £10 games and you've saved your £30 straight away. So the shop's open tomorrow. If you've not got a season ticket, that's available. But in terms of the rest of the licence criteria, the playing strength we do very well at, the youth structure we do extremely well at, the community trust we do fantastic at, commercially we're there or thereabouts, and it's facilities and finance. We can't change the history, but we can change the future.
I was talking to a man not a million miles away from me last Saturday, I think it was, down in Cardiff, and he said if everyone that came to the last home game of the season comes to Salford game and brought a friend, we'd fill the ground. Now at a tenner, no times are hard, but for £10 you're going to watch Super League rugby. You can't go wrong at that, can you? How do you plan to increase spectators at academy/reserve matches?
Cheers. Well, I don't really know, to be honest. The young people that we're going to try selecting from the district, I think, is a starting point. I think the more young people that we get from this local area can only encourage people to come and watch them, and I think that's what we used to do as a club. I know when I was growing up and playing rugby league for Stanley Range, I think there was around 10 people from my team that had got signed on or were coming down here and playing in the academy, and that can only encourage people to come and watch. There's not much more that we can do regarding entertainment and stuff because that costs money, but I do believe if we have local people playing at the local club, that will entice people to come down and watch them young players grow up, and hopefully, like John just said, the pathways are there to become a first team rugby league player at Wakefield Wildcats. If you're good enough, you don't have to wait a long time. You know, we've got Adam Murphy, who I believe made his debut at 18, 19-year-old. Dale Ferguson was another one at 18, 19-year-old. So you come down here, you've not got long to wait if you prove yourself, and that's the type of players that we're wanting down here, local players playing at our team.
I know one or two people have mentioned this to me, but one of the problems we seem to have had with reserve and under 18 games have been the fact that some people didn't know when they were being played. And I think James has already mentioned the fact that the website's being updated, and that obviously is one part of it that will be improved upon. And for any of you who haven't seen the reserves play or the under 18s play, or the scholarship kids, they're an absolute joy to sort of come down and see, because there's a naivety, there's a pureness in how they play, and they just want to represent the club. So, please keep your eyes out on the website for when the games are played. And if you want to see the reserves for the first time, they're playing this Saturday at 2:30. So it's a good couple hours entertainment, believe you me.
Yeah, we did quite well in reserve grade as well. We've got a question from Rich. There's a rumour that Wakefield shirts are being sold around Wakefield at discount prices. Anybody shed any light whatsoever? Is it the club or Jim?
Don't know. There's enough of us in here to start finding out, I think. If anybody knows of this, then we'd like to know, because we've not that we're aware of. We've sold 200 shirts to one person.
Cheap.
So it would be a matter for the police, so if you do know anything, let us know.
Okay, I think one for John from Stephen C. Who we're targeting to bring the support back to Wakefield? Are we looking at run-of-the-mill players or exciting international talent?
Well, we'd love to attract international talent. At this minute, we'll mainly be tied up. So, we're going to have to work very hard with what we've got. And I wouldn't call the young players, the young men that we've got, who are aspiring to sort of play Super League, as run-of-the-mill players. I think that the young men with lots of potential, and part of the coaching staff's job is to ensure that potential is realised and developed. So I would stress to you, if the people who went to Catalan really did see some exciting rugby league played by some very enthusiastic and committed young men, and somebody said to me, what are you looking for? Somebody said that this season all they wanted from the team was that every game they went out there and they did the red, white and blue proud. And believe you me, this lot will do. So just come down, watch them, and you'll be royally entertained and you'll enjoy every minute of it.